why that's important is because you have a pulmonary vein, but it's confusing because veins are typically blue because they're deoxygenated, but this pulmonary vein is red. Can you guess why? It is going to the heart, so it's a vein, and it's oxygenated because it just came from the lungs. So this is the exception. So our deoxygenated blood went through the pulmonary valve, into the pulmonary trunk, to the pulmonary artery, because the pulmonary artery is taking it away from the heart. So pretend there's some lungs up there. That blood, that blood gets oxygenated, and it's taken back to the heart. What things take things back to the heart? Veins, right? So it's coming through your pulmonary vein and going into your left atrium with oxygenated blood.
So the pulmonary vein is blood from the lungs to the heart.
Yes, blood from the lungs to the heart. So then at this point, your oxygenated blood is going to be dropped through the bicuspid valve, because remember it's on the left. And then from here, the oxygenated blood in the ventricle, the heart will contract from the bottom and shoot oxygenated blood through your pulmonary valve, your aortic valve. It's hard to see here. And through the aortic valves, it goes to the aorta. Aorta is the artery, and it's taking it away to the rest of the body. So this is going to be a real rough start, y'all, but I'm going to work with y'all, and you will understand the heart perfectly before your test. Practice.
Yeah. I only got half of it though. I started halfway through.
No. Veins bring blood to the heart.
Yeah, sorry.
She said it goes down?
Yeah, veins bring blood to the heart, and it's mostly deoxygenated. Yeah, doesn't have oxygen in it except for the pulmonary veins.
Correct.
And then so is there an exception for the arteries not being oxygenated?
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought me to that point. So, which one is it? Artery. It's your pulmonary artery is the exception because your pulmonary artery is taking blood away from the heart, but it's not oxygenated because it's going to the lungs to be oxygenated.
Okay.
So that's the exception.
Okay, so it's so arteries, it's mostly oxygenated.
Yeah, because most of your blood is if it's an artery, it's been oxygenated
In the heart.
like from the lungs in the heart and then pumped to the rest of the body. But there's that one exception.
Except the ones that have
Which this one in here.
Okay, so both just the pulmonary artery.
And I guarantee Prabhakaran will ask you that question about true or false are all veins deoxygenated, or true or false are all arteries oxygenated blood. So these
But I mean, right now I'm just recording nothing.
No, but that's okay. But just like the ones on the models and stuff, those were so.
to your left atrium, and then it'll drop through your bicuspid valve to your left ventricle, and then from the ventricle it'll be pumped up to the aortic semilunar valve.
Oh, it comes up here.
Through the aorta. So this is going to shoot up to your neck and oxygenate this part, and this is going to go all the way down. Your aorta actually runs all the way down to your kidneys, and it'll pump blood to the rest of your body. So I'm going to try to go through the whole blood circulation now that I've explained where the heart parts are. It's going to be good, y'all. It'll be okay. Watch videos on this. This is how I learned it. I sat in front of a computer. They're called Bioflix, I think. Did you ever find that muscle?
I looked for it. I couldn't find it.
If I can find it, I'll send you all the videos. But sit and watch videos over it. That's the most helpful thing. One more thing to note is you have your superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. Those are veins that are bringing deoxygenated blood from the bottom and the top half of your body to the heart. So for example, very broad, oxygenated blood went all the way to this side of the body, and that oxygen is flowing through the body, being dropped off in the tissues. But now the blood's deoxygenated because all the oxygen was delivered to where it needs to be. So deoxygenated blood needs to be brought back to your heart to where it can get oxygenated again. Does that make sense? So with that, all the deoxygenated blood from the top half of your body and the bottom half are all going to be dumped in from the superior and inferior vena cavas into your right atrium.
So they're like the main veins where all the deoxygenated blood comes through to the heart.
Mm-hmm. Very good. So yeah, think of like all these other veins out in your body are draining into this big vein.
And it brings in
Deoxygenated, yeah.
What's that one called?
It's a vein or an artery?
The vena cava are veins, because remember, veins bring blood back to the heart. Arteries take blood away from the heart.
And it brings it into the right atrium?
Yeah, so this is why I always remember the right atrium, because these two vena cavas dump into the right atrium. So that's where I always start when I talk about the circulation of blood in the body. So I'm going to go real slow, and I'm going to explain this to y'all. So all of this deoxygenated blood from the body has been dumped into the right atrium. And then what's gonna happen, so I'm doing this one at a time like a circle, but really these are happening simultaneously. So what's gonna happen, the blood's dumped here, your heart's gonna contract the atria, and from that atria it's gonna squeeze blood through your tricuspid valve. You're fine. I was on a rolling.
I know, it's my fault.
So your right atrium is gonna contract and it's gonna force blood, deoxygenated blood from your right atria through your tricuspid valve into your ventricle. And then there will never be backflow. It only goes one way. So once this is contracted, it relaxes and the blood is now pooling in here. And so from that, this part's gonna squeeze and it's gonna push that blood up this way through your semilunar valve. That's your pulmonary semilunar valve. It's gonna go up through here, and again, there's a little valve to prevent backflow. So once it's through, it's not gonna drop backwards. Okay, so blood's gonna go through here, deoxygenated blood, remember, and this is a vein because it's taking blood away from the heart.
Which vein is that? Oh, this.
So this is your, sorry, I just said artery because it's away. So it's gonna go through the semilunar valve, your pulmonary semilunar valve, and it's your pulmonary trunk to your pulmonary artery, and that's gonna go to your lungs. So the blood is now gonna go into your lungs, it's gonna get oxygenated, so it's gonna pick up a bunch of oxygen. And then it's gonna take a vein, because vein goes to the heart, pulmonary vein to the heart back into the left atrium. Any questions so far? So we're getting there. So through the left vein, left pulmonary vein, oxygenated blood is now in your left atria. That's gonna contract like this, and it's gonna squeeze it through your bicuspid valve, because remember, bicuspid's on the left, MLB. And then your bicuspid valve is gonna drop the blood and it's gonna pull into your left ventricle. And then your left ventricle is gonna contract and shoot blood through your pulmonary, your aortic semilunar valve. And your aortic semilunar valve is gonna take it to the aorta, which is your artery. So it's gonna have oxygenated blood going up and then down. And that's how you get oxygenated blood to your whole body. And then that oxygenated blood is going to travel through the body, drop off the oxygen where it needs to go, and then it's going to come back through your inferior and superior vena cava and dump into the right atrium. And start all over.
Okay. I'm gonna watch a video, but
Watch a video.
I have
I'll
a
explain it
question.
as many times as y'all need, but that's kind of the rudimentary start of how the heart works.
so once the all right, once the oxygenated blood.
It's so bad.
Once the oxygenated blood comes through the left pulmonary vein and it goes down into the left ventricle, how does it?
Left atrium first.
So we're gonna need to know this for the practical.
Oh yeah, so for the practical, how it'll be set up is I'll have a heart out, I'll have this pinned, and I'll say maybe ID this chamber, where's the blood coming from, where's the blood going to, is the blood oxygenated, deoxygenated, what valve is this, where's that blood going, so that's why you wanna know this really well.
So it goes to the lungs and then it goes to the left atrium.
Yeah, so from the lungs it comes through the left pulmonary vein into the left atrium, that's gonna contract and push the blood through the bicuspid valve into the left ventricle.
And then how to get from the left ventricle to the aorta.
Through the aortic semilunar valve. So this is kind of a
So is
background.
there any like